This video is brought to you by Bandzoogle. Bandzoogle makes it easy to build a stunning website and online store for your music in minutes. All the features you need are already built in, including dozens of fully customizable templates, tools to sell music, merch, and tickets, commission-free, mailing list tools to grow your fan list and send newsletters, integrations with Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube, Bands in Town, and more, so you can easily add content from other online profiles, and live support from their musician-friendly team, 7 days a week. Plans start at just $8.29 a month, which includes hosting and your own free custom domain name. The Garageband Guide viewers can go to bandzoogle.com to try it for free for 30 days and use the promo code TheGaragebandGuide, all one word, to get 15% off the first year of any subscription, or use the link in the description below. If you search YouTube for the best budget audio interface, there's one model that you won't see pop up at all, really. Which is really strange to me, because this is probably the best budget audio interface for most people. This is the Arturia Minifuse 2, a 2-in, 2-out, beginner-friendly audio interface. It goes for around £130 or $150 on Amazon, where it has a rather tasty 4 3/4 star rating. Now, it's pretty obvious which super popular audio interface Arturia are gunning for here with this product, offering more features than that ubiquitous wee red box, as well as also coming in substantially cheaper. Speaking of features, let's take a closer look. Inside the Minifuse 2's box, you'll find a wee information leaflet, the Minifuse 2 itself, and a lovely Arturia branded braided USB-C to USB-A cable. Very nice. I should point out that while I have the white model here, there is a black version available too if you prefer your audio interfaces to just look a wee bit more evil. Build quality here is great. Most of the Minifuse's body is made of metal, with the front and back panels being made of plastic. All the knobs and dials feel really sturdy and have a lovely premium rubberized feel to them. On the front of the interface are two combo XLR/1/4-inch jack inputs. Each input has its own backlit gain knob that responds to your input, turning red when the signal is too high, and glowing blue when it's at a more sensible level. Each input also has a button that allows you to switch between line and instrument levels for a clear, consistent signal. Next along here is a 48-volt phantom power switch for when you hook up a condenser microphone to either or both of the combo inputs. Next to that is a real-time colour-coded VU meter. Now, this is an output meter only, but it is definitely handy to have a visual representation of your outputted volume on the interface itself. Next to the meter is the big old output volume knob for any monitor speakers you have connected. To the right of the output knob is a monitoring mix control, which allows you to control what you hear coming from the Minifuse. You can blend between the inputted signal and the signal from your connected computer or device. Below that is a direct mono switch, and finally at the very end here is a 1/4-inch headphone output and a headphone level control knob. On the back of the Minifuse 2 is where things get really interesting. You have two 1/4-inch TRS balanced line outputs here to connect studio monitors. Next to those, and a rarity at this price point, you've got one 5-pin MIDI input and one 5-pin MIDI output. Next to those, you have a USB port. That's right, a USB port on the back of an audio interface. Not something I think I've ever really seen before, and certainly not something you'd expect on an interface at this price point, I think. More on that a bit later on. And finally, you have a USB-C output to hook the interface up to your Mac or iPad via the included cable. As I mentioned, the Minifuse 2's build quality is very, very good. It has this unique shallow form factor that sets it apart from a lot of the other, mostly squarish audio interfaces out there. Here's how it looks compared to the Universal Audio Volt 1, and how it looks compared to the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 2nd Gen. It really is quite compact, which is great news for mobile creators in particular. Another thing that mobile creators and pretty much everybody else will love is that USB port that's on the back of the audio interface. This is honestly genius, and it blows my mind that other interface manufacturers just don't do this. It's rated for 250 milliamps and is perfect for attaching MIDI controllers in particular. iPad and iPhone users especially might find this feature handy, as it could potentially remove the need for a dongle or adapter, provided you have a spare USB-C to USB-C cable lying around that you can use to attach your audio interface to your device. Same goes for those of you running a MacBook that only has USB-C ports. You're going to find this extra USB port really, really helpful. Another feature not really seen at this price point are the MIDI in and outs. These let you send, receive, sync and record MIDI information for your synths, drum machines, sequencers and more. Arturia are probably best known for their software synths and MIDI controllers, so it makes sense that they've included features here that are well suited to that audience. Speaking of software synths, the Minifuse 2 comes with a good selection of free software, including Analog Lab Intro, which allows you to play around with hundreds of great sounding presets ripped straight from the full-fat version of the plugin. You also get access to Ableton Live Lite, 4 actually useful FX plugins, the Lite version of Native Instruments Guitar Rig 6, and 3-month subscriptions to Auto-Tune Unlimited and Splice's sample library. The Minifuse 2 also includes loopback functionality, allowing users to capture voiceover alongside in-app audio recordings using virtual channels 3 and 4. All of that is great, but it doesn't mean a lot if the sound quality just isn't there. Well, I'm happy to report that the quality on offer here is fantastic and on par with other audio interfaces at this price point. Speaking of which, here are some audio examples. Right, this is what my voice sounds like when recorded through the Arturia Minifuse 2 using a Rode Procaster dynamic microphone. I've got 48 volt phantom power engaged as I'm using a Triton Fithead with the microphone to boost its signal. No other post-processing, that's hard to say, no other post-processing has been done. This is just my voice into the mic, into the Minifuse 2 and then into my Mac. And this is what it sounds like. Arturia Minifuse, this is the Arturia Minifuse 2. This is the Arturia Minifuse. Arturia Minifuse. This is the Arturia Minifuse 2. This is the Arturia Minifuse. This is the Arturia Minifuse. This is the Arturia Minifuse 2. This is the Arturia Minifuse. You know, it's becoming harder and harder to recommend a specific audio interface nowadays, as most on the market at these sub $200/£200 price point deliver great quality recordings. You really have to dig into what each interface offers in terms of unique extra features to figure out which one's going to be best for you. The Minifuse 2 does all the basic stuff you'd expect from an interface at this price point very well. But more so than any other budget audio interface I've looked at recently, the unique features here really do set the Minifuse 2 apart. No, you're not getting any extra recording modes or automatic setup functions, but the inclusion of things like an onboard USB port, MIDI in and outs, and loopback make this one of the most versatile and flexible audio interfaces on the market, especially if you're a heavy synth user. Arturia have absolutely nailed it here, and I would highly recommend taking a closer look at the Minifuse 2 if you're in the market for a budget-friendly audio interface. Let me know your thoughts on the Minifuse 2 down in the comments, and if you could give that like button a gentle caress on the way past, I'd really appreciate it. If you still can't decide on what audio interface is right for you and wish that anyone would create a video outlining the best options out there right now, watch this next.